What if I told you that everything you've learned about the rainbow, your entire life is a lie? What if what you thought was a harmless symbol of peace and beauty actually has a much deeper and perhaps even terrifying meaning? Have you ever wondered why God chose to use a bow to symbolize His covenant? What if the rainbow you see in the sky was originally a weapon, a powerful weapon of war pointed against the earth? Why has this perspective been forgotten over time? What else could the story of the rainbow in the Bible be hiding? Get ready to discover what was really behind this heavenly covenant. Perhaps after today, you will never see the rainbow the same way again. Welcome to the TC Bible Stories channel, the only YouTube channel that tells the Bible story in chronological order. Subscribe to the channel if you want to learn the Bible from Genesis to Revelation and stop being misled by incorrect interpretations of the Holy Scriptures. In the previous video, we discussed why God forbade humans from eating meat with its blood and the spiritual meanings behind that prohibition. Now, we've reached a crucial moment in the biblical narrative, God's covenant with Noah. This event is recorded in Genesis 9:8-17, where God speaks directly to Noah and establishes a covenant that goes far beyond him and his family. It is a covenant with all humanity and with every living creature. In the text, God promises never to destroy the earth with a flood again. And to seal that promise, he places a bow in the clouds as a visible sign of that covenant. But what does God really say to Noah? He not only guarantees that there will be no more floods, but he also establishes a new basis for the relationship between God, humanity, and all creation from then on. Now, what you learned about the rainbow as a symbol of hope and peace may not be exactly what it seems. The term bow in the clouds, used in Genesis, in the original Hebrew, is keshet. Keshet. This term does not just refer to a colorful rainbow. In fact, keshet is the same word used to describe a war bow, a weapon used in combat. In other parts of the Bible, this word appears in the context of battles, such as in Psalm 7:12. If a man does not repent, God will sharpen his sword. He has bent his bow and made it ready. But this leads us to an intriguing question. Why would God choose a weapon to symbolize a new covenant with humanity? To understand this, we need to delve into the historical and cultural context of the time, explore how humanity lived in that region, and what a bow meant to them. Since the time of Cain, humans have unfortunately resorted to weapons to fight their enemies. The Bible tells us that Cain used violence against his brother Abel, marking the beginning of the use of weapons in human history. Although we don't know exactly what weapon Cain used, we can imagine that it was a stone or some rudimentary object common in that era. As humanity grew and spread across the earth, the need for survival and defense led to the development of new weapons. Cain's descendants, living in a dangerous world, likely perfected these primitive tools. The first formally developed weapon may have been a club, followed by the spear, which consisted of a wooden shaft with a sharp stone tip, used for both hunting and combat. Over time, and with the increase in population, the need to hunt and protect communities led to the evolution of weapons. The spear, the hatchet, and the axe emerged tools that allowed for attacks from a distance with greater force. They were used both for hunting large animals and for warfare. Then came the bow and arrow, one of the most important inventions. Initially used for hunting, it quickly became a tool of war. This weapon allowed humans to attack from a distance with precision and safety. Its use spread across various cultures around the world, including the civilizations of the Near East. In Noah's time, in the region where the flood occurred, The bow and arrow was already a well-known and widely used weapon. In Sumeria and nearby regions, such as Mesopotamia, the bow was used both for war and for hunting. These cultures depended on the bow to protect their cities and obtain food, making it a symbol of power and survival. Now you may be wondering, what do all these weapons, especially the bow and arrow, have to do with the rainbow and God's covenant with man? The answer lies in the traditions and cultural symbolism of Noah's time, particularly among the Sumerians and other peoples of the ancient Near East. In that era, the bow was not just a weapon, it was a symbol of power and intention. Among the Sumerians, the bow carried specific meanings depending on how it was used and where it was pointed. These cultural conventions influenced both the actions of kings and warriors and the perception of divine interactions. If a bow was pointed directly at the enemy, it was a clear sign of war. The mere sight of a drawn bow signaled the beginning of a battle. It was the declaration that hostility was underway and that conflict was about to start. Now, imagine a bow pointed upwards towards the sky. This gesture had a completely different meaning. When a warrior or leader pointed their bow high, it symbolized the end of hostilities, a declaration that the battle was over. It was as if they were saying, "We will not fight anymore. I lay down my weapon. Peace is established." This same gesture can be understood as a divine declaration that the war against humanity had ended. And when the bow was pointed towards oneself, that signified a commitment to peace. The leader who kept the bow pointed at themselves was declaring that they would not use their weapon against their own allies or subjects. It was a way to ensure that they would not be a threat to those around them. Finally, a stored, untensioned bow represented a time of peace and security. It was the symbol that war was not ongoing and that the moment was one of tranquility. So, when God placed the bow in the clouds after the flood, he was not merely offering a simple covenant. He was showing humanity, in a symbolic and visual way, that his wrath had been contained, that he had disarmed the weapon that could bring destruction. The rainbow, with its curved shape and its connection to the war bow, would have been understood by the ancients as a clear sign that God would no longer wage war against the earth. Now, a question. Did you know this fascinating story about the Sumerians and the relationship of the biblical rainbow with these ancient traditions? If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends so that more people can understand the depth of this biblical symbol. Why? In the next video, we will explore one of the most intriguing stories in Genesis. What really happened between Noah and his son Ham after the episode of drunkenness, and why that resulted in a curse on Ham's descendants. Don't miss it.